Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. It's the start of a new year, so Happy New Year. I guess I should precede this brief reading with what's going to come in the next 12 months. I don't want to labour every single aspect. I've actually done a 3,000 word essay for you. If you'd like to go to the website, you can see the links below. Don't forget to subscribe, and then you'll get all the up-to-date information on what's going on in your sun sign. But let's start off by taking a look for your sun sign of Gemini at the important transits, especially in January, the outset, because that sets the trend for the rest of the year. You notice here your ruling planet, Mercury, with the sun in this 8th house, the hidden house of the zodiac, which is also a very transformative house with transformative Pluto here. So this is one specific combination of planets that points first and foremost to this really revolutionary and transformative stage that you're going through right now. You've been going through this for a while with Pluto in this region, but when your ruling planet and other personal planets like the sun move into this area and trigger this planet, then you start to see spurts, really big growth spurts. Let me just get some air on in here. Excuse me, I'm getting a little bit warm. So these growth spurts take place, and as well, this 8th house here is related to your relationships. And you notice here the karmic nature of relationships for many of us right now, but for you in particular, because Venus and the past karma south node are in this 7th house. It's the western part of the solar chart, which regulates your concrete relationships, your long-term committed partnerships, your soulmate, that type of thing. So these areas are pointing very, very clearly to this year being an important one for developing those relationships, taking them deeper, and also resolving some of those elements from your past life. I don't mean past life before you were born, although that is often what this is about, but this has to do with past life, this life. What are the formative factors that have impinged on your relationships, that have distanced you? You know, social distance doesn't only happen outside at the mall. It happens primarily within our relationships. That distancing becomes an emotional distancing. So right at the get-go, this 8th house is showing us, with your ruling planet there, a need to transform your perception, bring yourself into more intimacy with the person you love, with people generally. Intimacy. It's about vulnerability, Gemini. It's about opening up this year. It's about being seen from the inside out. The great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn is here in your 9th house. This is very, very important, especially because this is the sector of beliefs, religion, philosophy. Legal matters for some of you that have been outstanding are still a challenge, because we see, pardon me, the hard aspects that have been going on here and will continue with this Jupiter-Saturn-Uranus right angle. Mars is going to move into that area also within the early part of the year, January itself, and that's going to frustrate and challenge you in a lot of ways. There may be hidden expenses that you hadn't expected, triggering the first month or two of the year. 12th house here are those expenses. It's about finding a new way forward, with Saturn being the conservative planet, Uranus being the progressive planet. There's an eclipse that takes place in Sagittarius. Sagittarius, see, this is the marital sector of the horoscope. That takes place on 26th of May at around 5 degrees of Sagittarius. It is a lunar eclipse, and that has to do with finances and money and values. It shows us that this eclipse brings the issues of money, shared resources as well, because that's what this house of intimacy is also about. Not just about sharing your body and your feelings, but it's also about sharing money. So a lot of those issues are going to crop up at that time, and they're going to take you into the middle of the year and cause you to think more carefully about how you are working together as a team. If you're in a business partnership, it's going to be very, very important for you to work on that. You are going to want to assert yourself a lot more. And that's going to arise after the solar eclipse that takes place just a few days after the lunar eclipse, this time in your sun sign. This is all to do with yourself. The eclipses are always to do with these nodes or the karmic aspects of your life. So this is about confronting issues within yourself. In the middle part of the year, we talked about the lunar eclipse triggering the relationship sector, and then the solar eclipse in the middle of the year triggering one's own self. The eclipses cut off the light of the sun or the moon. So there is something going on here, especially because the sun is the ruler of your third house. You may have to confront the fear within yourself at this time. The third house, which is ruled by the sun in your case, has to do with one's valor and courage and having the guts and the balls, excuse the French, to get out there and do what you know you have to do. I think that eclipse is going to trigger very, very big things. You notice also on the 21st of June, very soon after that, Jupiter goes retrograde. You see, it goes retrograde after, let's have a look here. Jupiter is on the 14th of May, moves into the upper part of your horoscope. This is the career sector, there where you've had Neptune transiting for some time. Your ideals are very, very high. Jupiter is going to want to cause you to expand and spread yourself very far and wide. You're going to have more interest in many different things at this time. But you have to be careful with that one, Gemini, because what we see here is the retrograde motion on June 21st, pulling that energy back, a revision of sorts up to the 28th of July, and then what will happen, you thought you were in the clear, Jupiter moves very quickly into your career sector, then moves back. And it stays here, transiting in its retrograde motion, revising a lot of things, thinking more carefully about where you've been, how you can effectively move forward in your life and in your career, changing your value systems to adjust all of those practical affairs, then going direct again on October 18. Sort of doing this forward and backward motion dance. Then it moves forward and doesn't finally move into this area of your horoscope, the career sector again, until the 29th of December. So a lot of revision, a lot of revamping of your ideas, where you wish to be in your life as on account of this planet. Saturn also does some retrograde movement, which is going to continue to challenge you here, especially with your expenses, as with your solitude. You're going to want to need time alone to figure out who you are and how you're going to deal with all of these career things. This is also the sector that relates to the development of your ego. What the flower of your destiny is. This house is the seed. This is the flower. The potentiality, Gemini, of what you're able to become. So a lot of what this year is about for you is about your potential, about digging deep into this emotional and shared resources area, becoming more intimate or open about who you are, and redefining who you are, as shown by those eclipses in the mid part of the year. Saturn makes a final square aspect to Uranus on the 24th of December. You see, this is not going to be like a slam dunk. You're going to have to work on this, and you're going to put your planning gears in motion, knowing full well that although you have an objective in life, you know where you want to go, you're going to have to go back and revamp a lot of that stuff. You're going to have to adjust your plan. Some of the tools and the skills, the core competency that you have is shown by this grand conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. This is really where the main area of activity is going to be. This is the skill sets, your higher understanding, your wisdom, how you use what you know in a much more clever and shrewd manner. That is going to determine your success in 2021 in every department of your life, your career, your personal relationships, and your own self-relationship, that most important of relationships. Please do go in, have a look at the 3,000 words I've written. This is just a piecemeal sort of view, just a few of the pieces of the jigsaw. The rest is there at astrology.com.au. Drop me a line if you'd like a more comprehensive reading for 2021. We can do that on a face-to-face basis so that we can look at your horoscope in person and give you the nitty-gritty of that. I look forward to your company in February, where we'll pick up our month-by-month readings. And don't forget to subscribe. Take care, good luck, and Happy New Year.